Hello and welcome back. Welcome to any new subscribers. Thank you all for joining me today. So I had an idea for this channel. I am a collector of vintage dolls, and please let me state right up front, this is first and foremost a miniatures channel. It's what it's going to be. That is the channel, is the miniature channel. Um, and that's what I intend to have it mostly. However, I wanted to clean my doll collection out and see what I had. So I thought about selling some duplicates, possibly of some of the things I have. I don't need multiples of everything. I've been collecting vintage Barbie and other dolls, and I only collect vintage fashion dolls. The only exception to that being Chatty Cathy, because my cousin had one when I was little, and the one was so bad, and they were so expensive, my parents wouldn't get me one. And so I do have a few of those, otherwise that is vintage fashion dolls. When I was little, I loved my Barbies. My first Barbie was not even a Barbie, it was a clone of Barbie, good quality, that my sister had. My sister was a lot older than me. And I had some of the clothes from that, and that started my love for Barbie. I got Tammy first because my mother was very old-fashioned and didn't think that little girls should play with dolls that were so grown up. So I got Tammy first because Tammy was kind of a transition between a child doll and a fashion doll. And I do have some Tammys. Anyway, Barbie was my one love. I got a twist and turn when they first came out, and she was everything. I had a Color Magic, and then I just went on to some more dolls. And when I got too old to play with them, my mother made me give them to my niece, and my nephew trashed everything. It's really upset me because I had some really cool clothes. I had some really nice dolls. And so when I got older, one day I happened to find a vintage Barbie, and we went to the thrift store and bought it. And after that, it was just like rekindled my love of Barbie. Reminded me of my childhood and made me very happy, and I just started buying because I found them. Most of mine did come from thrift stores. I have very few that are perfect. That's okay with me, that I've got them. I can always, if I find a better one, and this is what I did with the clothing also. I get what I can get, and most of my clothing came from thrift stores also. Sometimes it was on a new doll. I guess somebody must have had it laying around and it was on a newer doll. Some of it I bought as someone else's collection. And I had the really good fortune one day to be in a small antique mall in Madison, South Dakota, which is close to where I live. It's where I work. And there was a wooden box that had hinges on it. It was made out of, looked like paneling. And it said Barbies. And so it was $40. I opened it up and oh my God. There was a Casey, there was a Twiggy, there was a Barbie in there, I don't remember which one. And there were vintage clothes. Nice vintage clothes, and I got one real rarity in the deal, and I'll show you and tell you about that later on. Not today. And I bought it. I mean, $40. I got more than $40 worth of items in that, and I felt very fortunate to have it. When collecting clothes, I do what a lot of collectors and dolls themselves do when they don't have a lot of money to spend on their Barbie collections. But I'm always looking. They're getting fewer and further between now when I find something, but I still keep an eye out because there are certain ones that I want really, really bad, and well, I don't have them. Anyway, let's get back to my idea for this channel. Now, there have been a few people who said they'd be interested in watching me sew the Barbie clothes that I like to do, and believe me, when I do Barbie clothes, I like them authentic. I have saved a lot of vintage fabric. If I can find something that looks vintage, I will use that. But I kid you not, if I make a skirt, I make, you know, some, like, I guess they call them pencil skirts, or I make something like a sheet dress, I line the whole thing, okay? Mattel used to have such great quality. I mean, their stuff was amazing when Barbie first came out in 1959. The outfits were just exceptional. The quality was amazing. Sadly, over the years, and I realized it was because sales was the main thing, Barbie's fashions declined as Barbie did. That's why, and I collect up through 1973. Now, a lot of your Barbie collectors will stop at 1969, which is great. I went up through 1973 because that was the last year that they actually even really seemed to care a little tiny bit about putting some quality into the outfits. And since I was a teenager in 1973, it was very, you know, it was still cool because the clothes still fit the time. So I collect up to 1963, as a lot of collectors do. I buy what I can get, and if something better comes along, that's why I was going through my collection. I want to pass on what I have that maybe I replaced with something I found that was the same thing, only in better condition, to, you know, somebody else who might want it. None of the stuff is in bad shape. It's just some, maybe the color's faded a little bit, or, you know, this and that. I do not have a lot of complete outfits. I have a few, and I'm really fortunate to have them because Barbie used to be accessorized with purses and necklaces and bracelets and, you know, all kinds of stuff. And so I I feel fortunate to have the complete ones that I have, and the vintage shoes are very hard to come by. I'm not going to get into the dolls so much themselves right now. This lady that I have in front of me is a number 4. She has very light blue eyeliner. You're going to see her a lot when I do my vintage collection because I have very few that are the actual vintage Barbies. Number 1, I'll never be able to afford. That would be one of those lucky things when I happen to see one somewhere and somebody else who had it didn't know it was, or something like that. Thrift stores or antique malls, something like that. And number 2, I don't ever look to get, and number 3 is very, very hard to find. So she's a number 4. She has a little bit of chew on her fingers, but it's not too bad. Her fingernail polish is off, as is her toenail polish, and for some reason, the right leg on this body is about a 16th of an inch shorter than the left leg. It's still enough to make it so that, you know, Barbie would wobble if she were actually standing up. She'd be kind of lopsided and built up heels, something like that. She is on an original Midge Barbie body. I don't think you can probably see that, but it does say Midge and Barbie back there, and her dress is tagged with Barbie. This dress was sold by itself. It's called Fancy Free. It was sold by itself. It was cheaper than buying, you know, the whole outfit set. And my sister had this one, so this was a dress I grew up with. A lot of collectors don't care for it because it's so plain and simple and has rickrack. But you know what? That was the times. Go back and look. That was the time. Rickrack was popular back then. Simple. It's color black. It's an amazing little dress to me, and a little more special because I played with it. So I might like it better than a lot of collectors out there. It has 2 pockets on it. Actual pockets, deep pockets. Maybe could carry a lot in there. This doll, her head is darkened a little over time, as has her body. My dolls have been stored for a long time, and they do need cleaning. Her lipstick has faded. She has very faint blue eyeliner or eyeshadow, whatever you want to call it, on her. I feel very fortunate to have found this doll because if you look at her hair, she has a braid. And the braid has the hair wrapped around it to hide the ponytail up at the top. And when I got her rubber band that was in the braid, which I do believe is still the original rubber band, is starting to break now. This braid has never been taken out of this doll's hair, and so therefore I feel pretty confident in saying that she was a dressed doll in a box. Mattel did that with a few of them for a while. They actually, you could buy the doll in an outfit, and I believe this is probably what happened. She has pierced ears. She will never wear original earrings because they cause green ear. Green ear is very hard to get out, and I've watched a few videos on YouTube. I hesitate to do that with my dolls because some of them will use an alcohol wash before they put cleaner on. Alcohol softens the vinyl and can distort the face if you get too much on it. It can also remove the original paint. And right there, that kind of scared me off on that when I saw that people are doing that, because I mean, a little bit of alcohol is fine, but you can rub off your original paint. And if you use enough alcohol, I have done it on newer Barbies. I for a while got into remaking the newer Barbies, new hair, just for the fun of it. And I did, by using too much alcohol, trying to remove the paint on the doll, also distorted the cheeks and stuff. So Barbie kind of had a little bit of a lopsided face. It wasn't big, but it was noticeable if you looked. So I hesitate to do that. If my dolls have green ear, I'm thinking they're probably going to have green ear. Other than that, let me get on with what I was thinking of now for the channel. Now that I've introduced you to our number 4 Barbie, and the number 4 is just the name collectors put on it. Barbie was the same stock number for many years. Anyway, what I was thinking was that at the end of every miniature video, since there has been some it's been expressed that some people would enjoy seeing my dolls, my collection. I was thinking at the end of every video, the miniatures will be every week, unless of course I'm gone or something. They will be every week, same time, same station, so stay tuned in. But I was thinking at the end of those videos, I would post some pictures of my Barbies, my collection, in the vintage outfits. And that would be purely then for those who want to see it. The rest of you could turn the video off right after the miniatures. No harm, no foul, right? Also, separate from the miniatures, I am thinking of doing a once a month video on me sewing a Barbie dress or outfit, or for my other fashion dolls. I mean, I have Madame Alexander, Sissy, I have Revlons. The newest I collect up to are the Chrissy dolls. It started in 1969. I had one of those when I was little. So I'm dating myself, and I don't even care anymore. Anyway, I was thinking of once a month doing one of the sewing videos because it's something I really do enjoy. And that would be on a separate day from the miniature videos. I thought of having 2 channels, and at one time I did have 2 channels, and it was kind of, let's face it, I ended up devoting more time to one channel than the other, and it didn't work well, and so therefore I gave it up and went back to one channel. Just getting out my collection and sorting it and cataloging my clothes, and that really got me missing my dolls too, because I haven't done anything with them for years. I haven't even sewn for years. I'm sure it'll all come back just fine. But so that's my idea. That way, those of you who are purely in it for the miniatures don't even have to watch the sewing videos. And I think it'd be a win-win for everybody, and selfishly, especially me. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of as the channel progresses this year. I'm trying to get out of my funk I'm in. And the more I think about it, I really think it's the fact that Rob is not here anymore. I used to give him my ideas, and he'd be like, yeah, that's a great idea, or you sure? And he made me really think about what I was doing, and I would go and show him what I did, and he would be honest. I would get honest feedback. Hey, that's great. you know, or yeah, I like it. And if he said that, I know he was trying to be polite, but there was something in that would cue me that maybe there was, you know, and sometimes I listened to that, sometimes I didn't, but it was there for me. He was there for me. He was very supportive. If I couldn't figure out how to do something, he was right there to try and help me. And we were very supportive of each other. He did models, he did dioramas, he did other things, and I supported him in what he did. So I think that's just it because even though he's been gone since August, it's not getting any easier for me because we just have that special connection. Yeah. And it's going on the seventh month now that he's been gone, and I just it's not getting any easier without him. And especially when it comes to my creating and that kind of stuff because I really did rely on him a lot for that. But anyway, that's enough of that. So that's what I've thought for the channel. Please let me know what you think. Like I said, this will not affect anyone who wants to, to just purely hear from the miniatures because they are going to keep happening, and that is the main focus of this channel. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I will see you next Wednesday at 2 o'clock with something else of the miniatures, and I believe that'll be the day I start showing off my Barbie collection at the very end of the video. So if that's not your thing, you can turn it off after the miniatures. I will see you then. I thank you for joining me, and I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.